Hello, welcome back to Armchair Armory. And it has, well, about 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago, probably longer whenever you're watching this, but it finished at the Estadio de Dragão. FC Porto 1, Arsenal 0. And that was an incredibly bitter pill to swallow, to be honest. Conceded a goal right in the last minute, literally the last kick of the game. We conceded a goal, sort of came out of nowhere. You could make the argument that Martinelli should have just booted the ball into RO16 or just kept the ball as much as he can, or laid it off to Jorginho and let him keep the ball or something like that, because Jorginho was on at that point. You know, you could say Declan Rice could have stepped in as Galeo was about to take the shot. You could also say that Raya could have taken a few steps more before he went to save the ball. Or you could just say there's nothing much we could do. We could have done about it. There's nothing much that we can say. It's just really always gut wrenching when you lose a game in the last seconds or in the last minute, and there's nothing you can do about it. So we go into the second leg with a 1-0 deficit now, which is in 3 weeks' time. I think in some ways, I thought we played okay. I don't think we played well. I mean, the commentators on TNT Sport here in the UK were kind of praising Arsenal's game management and stuff like that, and I felt like we were defending well. Don't get me wrong. Until that last kind of 30 seconds, or 40 seconds, we were defending quite well. But I felt like a lot of the players were sort of having, both defensively and offensively, were having a night off. Well, felt like they were having an off night. You know, Saliba didn't seem like his normal self, apart from where somebody had a one-on-one and he managed to get back and take the ball off of him. I thought like Saka and Martinelli were quite nullified. I don't necessarily think that they played badly, but I think the Porto wing-backs dealt with them quite well. Martin Keown said on TNT Sports they contained Arsenal, which is very true. It was a very, very strange game because there were things that we did well, but you know, you can't account for when someone gets a chance and it goes in. You can't really say too much. You can't really complain. There are things, we could have done better to kind of see the game out. And I think Arteta said at the end of in the interview with TNT Sport, he said, we need to manage the game. We need to manage games better. And it's disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. It's only the first half of the tie. We've got them at the Emirates in 3 weeks' time, like mid-March, I believe we've got them. So it's not necessarily the end of the world. And I can imagine there probably will be fans that will be using this as an excuse to say, oh, the end is nigh, the world is over, kill me now, all this kind of stuff. Calm yourselves down. We were never, we're just unlucky. I think this game we were just unlucky. I think we did just about enough, maybe not to win the game, but I think we did just about enough to at least come out with a 0-0 draw. But at the same time, on the balance of play, Porto had the two best chances and one of those was a goal. So for the most part, I can't be too pissed off. I'm pissed off that we lost, obviously, but I'm not going to sit here and think that the tie's over. We've now just got to dust ourselves off and get ready for Newcastle on Saturday, which is the next Premier League game. But at the same time, saying that, I think this is important. I think we've got to win this in style on March the 12th. We've got to win this in style, because something I said in the preview, and I've said a few times over the season talking about the Champions League, is that Arteta's record in the cup competition since he's been our manager has not been great. And I think he really needs to at least get to the quarterfinals of this tournament, because you can kind of limp your way into the semi-finals or the final with the Europa League, but depending on your draw, obviously. But with the Champions League, there's always like teams that are gonna punish you or gonna put in a performance against you, and I think yeah, quarterfinals is probably what he should be at least aiming for. I mean, if we get further, great, but like, I think it's just important to try and change that sort of perception that our cup form recently has been awful. And I think I said in the preview, I thought we would win the game, but I did say in the preview I thought it was going to be tough just because our away form in the Champions League this season hasn't been great. You know, we lost to our first away game, we lost to Lens. Yeah, we beat Sevilla, but I think that was a decent performance. I don't think it was great, but it was a decent performance. And then we drew with PSV, but we were through by then, so you can't really complain too much. But still, you know, the Sevilla game was reasonably close, particularly towards the end, because I think Sevilla scored late in the second half. You know, we didn't play well against Lens. I didn't actually see the PSV game, but I can imagine, being that it was 1-1, it was probably just a dead, you know, a bit of a stalemate. But yeah, so hopefully, you know, home form brings the advantage and we can turn this tie around. It's only 1-0. It's not like what happened in my EAFC sim where I lost 5-0. Which basically, if that happened in real life, that would be the tie over pretty much. There's no way that I can imagine we'd win 6-0. I mean, I know we've been beating teams in the league 5 and 6-0, but I can't imagine in the Champions League us beating Porto 6-0 at home if that did happen. But yeah, it's only 1-0, so the tie is still wide open. I think the main thing is, which I'll probably say when I preview the second leg, is that we just need to start early. We just need to hit the ground running and get a goal early. Yeah, disappointing, but not the end of the world. We've still got another game to turn it around, and hopefully we do. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I will be back again towards the end of this week with the preview for Newcastle. So until then, take care and stay safe.